Hi, welcome back to our channel. On the way to Bristol, Tennessee, we decided to do a pit stop at Bush's Best Beans.
Yes, located in Chestnut Hill, Tennessee, a few miles off the interstate in the rolling hills of Tennessee is Bush's Best Beans, where they're made. They have a cafe along with a museum devoted to the history of Bush's beans. I was surprised by the cafe. For some reason, I was expecting it to be counter service, but it's a sit-down diner type restaurant. How long do we have to wait for our table?
About 10-15 minutes, I would say.
Yeah, it was quite crowded, and we wound up eating at the counter rather than at the table. And I was asking on the way out the hostess if they were always that busy. It's like, yes, 365 days a year, they are that busy. After we sat down at the counter, our drink order was immediately taken, just a couple sodas. I immediately regretted that because on the chalkboard behind, they had one of the specials of the day, root beer floats, which is one of my all-time favorites. I wound up getting the pulled pork along with macaroni and cheese, and of course, Bush's baked beans, and a roll on the side. What did you get?
I got the chili pie, which had Frito chips, ground beef, lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, and sour cream on the side.
We were both looking forward to trying, what was the dessert they had?
The pinto pecan pie.
Yeah, that just, it sounded extremely interesting, but we couldn't even finish our meals, and because we were driving, we didn't want to risk taking it with us to the hotel because it was quite warm that day. After we finished with our meal, we headed outside. And what did you see outside?
Across the street, there was a big Bush Beans can and a factory next to it.
And that's where all the Bush beans are manufactured. Also, on the way to the museum, there were several photo opportunities, including a classic Bush Brothers truck, a couple photo opportunities with the mascot of Bush's Beans, Duke, and the spokesperson, Jay, which you may know from their famous commercials over the last 20 years.
The museum, which is next to the cafe, you had to walk around the porch into what it looks like a general store.
So as soon as we walked in, we were warmly welcomed by one of the guides who gave us a little bit of history about the museum and told us, what the next step was. And it was very informative just to get a good handle on what we could expect. The museum starts with the history of Bush Brothers. The founder, A.J. Bush, named the canning facility Bush Brothers because he wanted to make sure it remained a family business. And so he named it Bush Brothers after his sons. It remains a family business to this day. They are in their fourth generation of family ownership. The factory actually started as a tomato cannery and then quickly became a bean manufacturer. So what did the next exhibit tell you?
Since we couldn't do the factory tour, or there was no factory tour, they did behind the scenes in a little theater. They showed you how they soaked the beans in water. They came from North Dakota and Michigan, the beans, and how they canned them, how they put the special family recipe inside the can, and they had a piece of bacon at the bottom of the can if it had bacon in it. And to my surprise, they actually cooked the beans in the can.
After we came out of the theater, the next display was devoted to the advertisement of Bush Beans. Their most famous campaign is one featuring one of the actual Bush family and his dog Duke. Jay, Duke's owner, is talking about that no one outside the Bush family knows the secret recipe. Duke, the talking dog, is always trying to sell the recipe to the highest bidder. It's a series of commercials that ran for years, and they were showing several of them. Please let us know which one is your favorite. And does Duke ever come there?
He does sometimes, and they announce it on Facebook. On the second floor, they have interactive, like I would say, games You could touch screens and it looks like beans, and when you touch it, the beans would disappear and it would have facts behind it. They would have wooden pellets that you turn up and it would have like fun facts about where the beans comes from. And there's another one on the wall with where's Duke? You have to find Duke on the 3 panels. There's also a can of beans that you could take your picture on.
And there's also a display showing the different types of beans and all the different variety of beans. And incidentally, this is the area where you would almost meet Duke when he makes his special appearances. It wouldn't be a true museum tour if you didn't exit through the gift shop. The first part of the gift shop is set up like a general store, including a counter. And behind that, there is 81 varieties of Bush's beans available for purchase. And what other types of things did they have there?
They have Bush bean t-shirts and novelties and pet supplies.
Yeah, they really have an extensive collection of anything that you may need Bush related, including some pajama pants with the Bush logo emblazoned on that.
And pet toys.
And plenty of pet toys.
From my experience, I really enjoyed the interactive and the behind the scenes film.
Yeah, I think this museum is definitely one to make a detour to go to see. It's all free. Well, obviously you have to pay for the food, but the museum's free, and it's just a really great way to learn more about Bush's beans. Thank you for sticking with us, and please remember to like this video, subscribe, and let us know if you've been on the Beans tour or if you have any other factory tours that you would recommend to us.